Is 27 right, Cherokee 82 uniform. Okay. Okay. So I've written down the call and I've written down the response unless he gives us weird taxi directions, in which case I'll stop you and I'll talk to him. Okay. Okay. So we're good. We've been listening to him. We can hear him. So this is your push to talk button right there. So go ahead and make your call.
Gillespie Ground, Cherokee 9082 uniform, Golden State with Charlie, taxi 27 right.
Cherokee 18 uniform, correction.
I usually go to my class.
Cherokee 18 uniform, runway 27 right, taxi via Bravo Delta.
27 right, 82 uniform.
There you go. Simple as that. And you know the way to get there. Hardest part about flying is talking about stupid radio.
Yeah. Cherokee 81 Whiskey, cross runway 27 left and
full power. Steer with your feet. Keep your hand on here.
Pushing the ground to 81 Whiskey.
Just keep pushing that forward so it doesn't walk backwards. All right. Airspeed's alive. When it gets to about 55, that's 50. When it gets to about 55, pull your nose up a few degrees.
Cherokee 4 Bravo, make a right 360.
Bring it up.
Right 360.
All right. Now we're going to keep the nose down till you accelerate to about 79, so lower the nose a little. Just above the horizon. That was all you. I didn't touch a single control.
Good job, Clint.
Cherokee 18 uniform, make a right traffic.
Right traffic for 82 uniform. Okay, so point your nose at Mount Fortuna. So that hinge line should be aimed at that like a rifle barrel, or even a little to the right of it. Follow along with me. I'm going to show it to you. Stay with me. You can go ahead and follow along. So about 80 knots. Base level.
Need to work a police call about 3.5 miles to the northeast on the edge of the surface area. Astronaut, report on station. Report on station after 1.
All right, so now I want to put in a second notch of flaps.
Let's Cherokee 3298 over El Capitan, 3,700.
Turn him down a little bit. Too much.
Cherokee 3298, Gillespie Tower, make shutter runway 27 right, report up 3 mile final.
So we got a second notch of flaps. We slow to about 70. I got enough power in. I'm holding about 1,600 RPM right here. So we come out from behind Rattlesnake, and there's our big runway. Okay. Okay. So I don't want to turn on top of the hill. I want to kind of get out here a little bit, but I got to be careful to not go so far that I intrude.
Reach on, remember, in the future, be aware of your upwind. You drift well to the south, left crossing bridge.
You don't want to get in the other landing.
I don't want to get in the other landing. I keep listening because he's giving so many instructions. Okay. So now we're here. I'll put in a third notch. So go ahead and pull the third notch. I'm watching the helicopter depart out. See him going out?
Yes.
He's no longer a factor, but I was looking for him.
Okay.
Okay. So now, 65 to 70 knots is the speed I want. Now, I've got my hand off of here. It's holding that without a lot of help from me. So now all I have to do is to make the landing. The wind is slightly from the right. If I look at my wind socks, and he just called out 300, so 300 is going to be off the right nose. So I can't land with my nose pointed into the wind for a crosswind correction. That's why you don't intrude in on the other runway. What I'm going to have to do is, in order to control drift, I'm going to have to lower the wing, but I can't.
Cherokee 4 Bravo, runway 27.
If I leave the wing down and I don't use opposite rudder, the plane's going to turn. I don't want the plane to turn. I want the nose aligned with the runway a little bit. So we have a little bit of a crosswind, 65 knots, so there's my speed. We just sink on down. And when I get to about this altitude, take a look at the altitude here, I go level, power's out, and as I sink, I just keep staying on the center line. Now when we land, hold that back pressure. Feel that back pressure?
Yes.
Okay. So now, flaps out, full power, stay on the center line, keep your hand on there, stay on the center line, reduce the back pressure, little right rudder. Now rotate and climb out. Beautiful. Accelerate to 79, so keep your nose down low enough till you get to 79 before you let it get up too high. We want that 79 is our best rate of climb. You see him out there? Got him. So we're like racing. So when we take off, technically the tower would like us to to diverge a little bit. So we kind of steer a little to the right of our takeoff course, and he should be steering a little to the left of his, so that we're putting slightly more distance between us till we turn our crosswind. And he's going to go left, and we're going to go right. So right about here is about all you need. Just keep climbing out. When we get to about 1,000 feet, we'll turn right, and you'll point at Mount Woodson again. Okay? Now you get extra points if you can catch that pair of F-18s out there.
I'm going to need a little more throttle.
Yeah, I think that's all we got. Keep your hand on that. So now another trick. Hand on the side. Push your thumb against it. Now start your turn. 25 degree, 30 degree bank max. Because there's no need to do more. Roll level. Now let's check out here and make sure nobody's coming. Okay, nobody's getting our playground here. Now make your next turn. So your crosswind's only 3-4 seconds. And we're just crossing, we just about are crossing the little river here, a little dry riverbed when we make the turn. Now we want to go east and fly parallel to the runway, and we'll go right towards the Gold Mountain.
3988, runway 100.
Okay, A2 uniform looking. All right. When you hear A2 uniform, I got him. All right, but he was calling out the helicopter traffic because they're working a deal, but he's way below us. All right, so pull your power to 1700.
SC1 has right downwind traffic in sight coming over Rattlesnake. Maintain visual separation. SC1 record.
Okay, so he's got us in sight. So now, hold the nose up, pull in 1 notch of flaps, and we'll slow to 80 and then let the nose come over. Start your turn. And now at 80, let the nose drop.
We're here 19.
We're here 19, goes correct.
We're here 19, got the numbers over at the ramp pad. Charlie would like to depart to the west of the
Power back a little bit more. Come on downhill, we're high.
We're here 19, information Delta current wind descending against 6 altimeter 3011. Caution for Cherokee short final 1278. Departure from us here will be here next.
Put in another notch of flaps.
As requested.
And we're going to slow to 70. There you go. Second notch is pointed at the throttle. Okay. Third notch is pointed back up here.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Cherokee 41 Bravo, beam the tower, request the option. Cherokee 4 Bravo traffic.
If I pull the power back, our rate of descent increases. Since we're on the high side, that's a good fix. All right, so roll out and get on that center line there for the big runway. You've got this. So now I'll push back a little of that power back in now that we're kind of on the glide slope. Hold 70. There you go. Now, when you're picking up wings and dropping wings, get those rudders involved. Your feet are dead, so let's keep those rudders in there like we did on those previous lessons. Okay? Okay.
Cherokee 988, cross runway 27 left, contact ground. Cross 27 left, go to ground, 3988.
Let's put in your last notch of flaps. And we'll fly at 65 knots. We're headed for the numbers.
19, traffic off to the left, south now, outwind runway 27 left, in the south pattern.
I have that traffic in sight right here.
So 65 to 70 knots. You can speed up to 70 if you want. Don't jerk it back if it's getting to 70. 70's good. Gives us enough energy for the round out and flare. Okay. I'm right with you on the controls, so you're fine.
Close to tower, Astro 1. Astro 1 goes there.
So now we're going to drop the right wing just a little, and then add a little left rudder, so that we keep the longitudinal axis of the airplane lined up with the runway. Correct. So just enough aileron to hold the center line, and just enough rudder to aim with the center line. We're going to come on down here. Now, we'll bring the nose up just a bit, and every time it sinks, bring it up some more. Every time it sinks, bring it up some more. Don't bring it up till it sinks. But bring it up. Good. Good job. All right, that was about 80% you. Now, steering, full power. Rotate at 60 knots, 55 to 60 knots. Airspeed's alive. Stay on the center line with your feet. And rotate. We're at 65. You can rotate now. There you go.
Tower Sierra 19, request frequency change to North Hub.
That's 2.
Sector 19, frequency change, please.
Yeah!
Yeah, good job, Clint.
Yeah.
As soon as my balls get out of my mouth, I'll be fine.
That was scary, wasn't it?
You know, you just gotta fucking concentrate on what's happening.
I know. You did good, though. 80% you.
Yeah. I'm going to beam my
5252 on hold order.
houses here. Power back to 17-ish. Okay, close enough. 1 notch of flaps. I haven't started my descent much yet. As I slow to about 80, I'll let the nose come over. It's about trimmed for almost perfectly for 80. Bring the nose around. Okay. We'll square this off. I'll hold a little bit more power again because we're slightly heavier than is when it's just you and me. Okay. So when I get behind Rattlesnake here, I like to be at about 1,300 feet. Well, I'm coming up on 1,300. So if I add a little power, I don't have to do anything with this. If I add a little power, it slows the descent to almost 0. Then when I'm ready to keep coming down, watch what happens to my rate of climb, or rate of descent.
You're doing this all with just basically throttle.
Throttle. And look at this. Just fingertips. Next notch of flaps. Now it's going to slow to 70 because I'm already trimmed for that. I come out from behind the hill, take a look, make sure nobody's coming. Make a nice coordinated turn with fingertip control. And again, with fingertip control, I have fine motor control. I'm not using my shoulder and my chest muscles and all of that to fly this thing because I don't need to. There is more, because we're going slower than when we were up doing air work, there is more movement required in the controls to do it. In other words,
Yeah, 3 inches lower airspeed.
Exactly. But it still should be something that is mostly fine motor control. All right, so I'm not on my center line, so I'm going to move over to the center line. You know that you're on the center line when it looks straight up and down from your eyes. It's not angled off that way or that way. The runway looks straight up and down from your perspective.
Gotcha.
Okay? So now I'll put in the 3rd notch of flaps, and we're going to slow to about 70.
Tower, Cherokee 1425 X-rays.
I'm on the glide slope. 2 red and 2 white is the glide slope per the precision approach path indicators. I have that crosswind from a little crosswind from the right, but it's almost negligible. But to show how we deal with that, again, I've got a little bit of right wing down. You can look here and see it, or you can look out at the wings and see that I have a little right wing down. But if I don't use opposite rudder, I'm going to start heading for those hangars.
You just can't go crazy with cross.
Well, no, you can go quite crazy. If I have a stiff one, I could have that wing way down there. But what I have to do is, in order to keep from the plane turning to the right, I have to use rudder to keep it properly aligned. Now, look at my height.
And,
use your peripheral vision to see how high we are.
Like, left traffic on.
As we sink, the nose comes up. We land on the center line. When we land, we have the same attitude as when we rotate to take off. So watch how I take off. Full power. Airspeed's alive. At 55, I'm going to bring the nose up.
581.
Roll on the mains. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Same attitude, isn't it? Yes. Now, I slowly lower, keep the pressure off of this so that the nose doesn't keep going up until I get to the speed I want. And now I can trim that speed if I want to, or I can just manually hold the nose up. You have the flight controls.
Safari car, it's flying circus 2, Safari East, via Alpha 3.
So that's what it looks like. So that kind of gives you a benchmark to go for. Okay?
And I'll just do it like that, Clint.
Yeah, just like that.
Well, and after a couple of sessions of this, that's exactly what you'll be going for. It is a matter, sometimes it's a little monkey see, monkey do, but then the nuances kind of come as you practice it. You got to do it. You got to do it. So it's like hitting golf balls, and I tend to go to that analogy, but it's like hitting a bucket of balls. Somebody can show you how to keep your elbows straight and the other one in tight and all of that stuff. Start your right turn. So give me a nice coordinated turn. Keep a little right rudder in there.
The 290 at 8.
right. When you roll your wings level, take a look, make sure nobody's coming. Right? Because we fly by looking out the windows. That's good. Now turn downwind. Coordinated turn, little right rudder.
Still work.
How are we doing on time, Kemosabe?
We can probably do one more touch and go and then a full stop.
We can go to Walmart or Costco. What is that? Costco?
That's Costco. That's Costco down there. And that's the trolley station down there.
Okay, we want to go to 1700.
16. Clear touch and go, 27 right, Cherokee AT uniform. So today I'm introducing you to 27 right, okay? Because it's the most difficult pattern because we have that hill in the way, rattlesnake. And then the next time we do touch and goes, we'll work the left, okay? All right, so level off. So pitch your nose over, get it to accelerate, and then pull the power back to about 23, 2350 with Mark in the back seat. That should help. Get it on back. Get it on back. All right, there you go. And 2350 will be about there. So that should hold us altitude, and we're pretty close to 95 knots.
The upwind to T7 left. Am I going to be behind them in the pattern? Roger, number 2, T7 X-ray.
Okay, were they telling, we're already cleared. So we're good to go. He's talking to somebody else. They're going to be behind us. Okay, throttle back. Yeah, pull it back to about 17, maybe make it 18. So just a little bit below that 20. Come on down, right about there. It will slow down some more as the plane slows down. Now put in a notch of flaps. Watch your speed decay down towards 80. As it starts getting towards 80, let the nose come on over and start your turn. Start your turn. Right. Good. Okay, so we're plenty high. So let's put in that second notch of flaps. All right, and we're going to let it decay down to around 70, 75 knots, and then let the nose come on over so we can get our descent in. There you go. Look at there, you can see Point Loma from here. That's for Mark, that's not for you. You can't look at that. Okay, you're busy.
I am busy.
Okay.
See the islands.
Yeah. The other night we could see, all right, make a turn. Let's get lined up on our runway here.
Runway 27 left, clear, touch and go.
Runway 27 left, clear, touch and go, Cessna 581.
25 number 2,
70 knots.
Clear, touch and go.
So bring that nose out. Hold the nose up. Let's get to 70 knots and on the center line. So we'll stabilize at 70. So we don't want to climb to 70. We just want to slow down.
Contact, we'll get a departure. Enjoy.
Now let the nose come on over. We've got the power set. We should be able to come downhill nicely at about 70 knots. If it's not doing 70, it's because you're pushing forward on it. So relax your hand a little bit. Let's see how we're doing.
Ghost Tower, Cherokee 142.
We're way high. Don't worry about that. I got it. Okay. Take your hand off. Let's see how she's trailing.
Left, clear to land.
So the reason why she was doing 80 is you were pushing the nose over, okay? She's going to do 70 with 2 notches of flaps. If we don't mess with it, she should do that pretty much by itself.
Okay.
Little bit to hold it up.
We got one more notch?
Yes, we do. So why don't you put it in? You have the flight controls back. Just now, notice that our aiming point's probably the first stripe past the numbers. It's the same height above the cowling that the horizon is when you're cruising. It's about that 4 inches, isn't it? Okay. That's our aiming point. That's not where we're going to land. We're going to land about the 1,000 footers. All right, so relax your rudders. You use rudder just to keep it aligned. We're doing 65. Keep the nose down. Keep the nose down. Keep it down. Keep it down. Now roll about like this. Now keep bringing it up. Keep bringing it up as we sing. Bring it up some more. Hot dog, that was all you. All right, get rid of that. Steer with your feet, stay on the center line, full power, rotate at 55. We're going to roll along on our mains a little bit. Keep your hand on that. Thank you. Rotate. All right, man. Okay. But just let it settle down. Don't oscillate it. Let it kind of settle and find its own head. There, it's doing about 75 without your help. So pull that power back a little bit more. Reduce your RPM some more. Reduce it some more. Put in your third notch of flaps. Okay. I can't talk as fast as I can think, so I have to, we're catching it a little bit. But you're making that adjustment. Now that we have the power back a bit, pull it back some more. Pull the power some more. Reduce the RPM some more. Now, what will happen is we're going to settle right back down. We have enough altitude to make the runway. If you hold 65 to 70 knots, okay, one light's going to go pink.
Gillespie Tower, Cherokee 43248, which is 2 miles to the east of Crest.
It's pretty well trimmed for this, so if you just relax and let it do its thing, all you do is just put in a little control correction. So let's slide to the right a little bit so we're on the center line, and then we'll align our nose. Align our nose. There you go. Relax your pedal. Relax your pedal a little bit. All right, so we keep the nose aligned with direction of travel. There you go. Excellent. Roll out with some back pressure. So you notice that we had enough energy left to get off the ground almost. So we'll hold this back. Now let's get on our brakes. We're going to roll out all the way to Delta 2 there. So ease on the brakes. Stop straight, slow down on the center line. Okay. Slow, slow, slow till we get to taxi speed to make the turn. So brakes, brakes, brakes. Brakes, brakes, brakes. A little more, a little more, a little more. Okay, then we can make the turn.
Cherokee 8 uniform, cross runway 27 left, contact ground.
Cross 27 left, contact ground, Cherokee 8 uniform. Alright, so we're allowed to cross this runway. That plane's already taken off. We'll still check, make sure he didn't miss somebody. So you can go ahead and cross all the way across. And then when you get on the other side of the hold short bars on the other side, stop just on the other side of that.